Hey! Welcome back to my channel! I noticed that in general, I don't talk about skincare as much as I used to on this channel. And a lot of my viewers do have acne prone skin, so I'm always getting questions about skincare for acne prone skin. Style Korean, which is a website that I often get products from, they sent me this new line from this new brand, I guess, called Medicube, who came out with this whole line of skincare products for acne prone skin. And I wanted to test it out for you guys, so I tried it for around 16 or 17 days and coming at you with my results. Right off the bat, the entire line smells like tea tree oil. Now, I don't know if it's because of the tea tree oil or the salicylic acid that nearly all the products have in it, but the smell was like the first thing that hit me. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and I know it's not like fragrance, which can be an irritant to the skin, but just one of the things I noticed. And the thing is, my skin actually does take very well to tea tree oil. I'm not 100% sure if there is actually tea tree oil in there, but I don't know. I'm going to review each individual product first, and then after that I'm going to show you like my progress, because I did capture footage from, you know, applying it for the 16 or 17 days. So starting off with the Red Foam Cleanser. This cleanser is supposed to be a safe for sensitive skin cleanser that removes dirt, oil, makeup, dead skin cells, you know, the shit that all of them say that they do. This contains salicylic acid, which is one of my favorite ingredients for actually combating acne. And the cleanser itself works to get rid of dead skin cells, which is actually, you know, y'all know I'm about that life. And as you know, along with acid toning, I've always been about that getting rid of dead skin cell life. Not necessarily physically, but like chemically as well. Whatever it takes to help speed up that skin turnover cycle. So the fact that it's working immediately from the cleanser is a good sign. The only other cleanser that I know does that is the CosRx Good Morning Low pH whatever cleanser. Now, if you've watched me for quite some time, you already know that I don't like foam cleansers simply for the fact that the whole foaming action comes from this one ingredient that is not good for your skin because it alkalines the surface of the skin, and so it just invites more bacteria, which is ironic because if you have acne prone skin, you don't want bacteria on your skin. So even though I was going to test it, I was still worried because it's a foam cleanser. I'm always saying I don't use foam cleansers. So while I was using the cleanser, I would always use it with this Noonie Marshmallow Whip Maker. I discovered these foam makers when I was filming Beauty Beast. I didn't know about these until they talked about it. But basically, you put a little bit of water in the cup, and then you put the cleanser on top of here. And basically, you are just you're creating the foam. You're pre-foaming the cleanser so that you're not creating the foam on your face, which is like what's bad for you. Now, I'm not 1000% sure that this makes it like good for the skin, but you know, in the course of me using the foam cleanser, it hasn't broken me out. You'll notice that in the progress footage that I'm going to show later, I do get like a spot or two, but that was because of a makeup primer that I was using, and I usually know when my skin is getting a breakout from a skincare product versus a makeup product, so the foam cleanser doesn't break me out, basically. After using the cleanser, my skin definitely feels clean. It's not that really super tight, squeaky clean feeling, if you know what I mean, but it feels properly cleansed. I do definitely go straight into skincare though, because if I leave it alone, my skin does feel a little bit tight, I guess, but like I said, not the super squeaky clean that you should totally avoid. My favorite cleanser is still by far the Accent Oil Cut Cleanser, but I still do use this at night during my double cleanse. After I make the foam with the bubble maker, I'll use my spin brush to kind of work the product into my skin gently, and I'll even notice a bit of whatever the cleansing oil or cleansing balm didn't take care of. The foam cleanser will take care of the rest because I see a little bit of makeup still on the brush. So the red toner is supposed to soften up the skin, freshen it up, help control sebum production. And just like the foam cleanser and a lot of these other things, it contains salicylic acid in it. And I think it also says it's supposed to help brighten the skin and have wrinkle care properties. Although as a toner, it's not like those really alcohol heavy based toners that a lot of acne, like for acne prone skincare toners tend to do. Clinique. So when I tried this for the first time, I was really surprised by like the consistency. It's more of like a quite thick gel, because when I was when I was getting it out onto my cotton pad, I thought it was gonna be like this watery mess. but it came out in like chunks of gel. But when you are, you know, applying it on your skin, it feels more like a watery consistency. So it's not like you're putting aloe gel in your face or anything. But because of the consistency, it does make it hard to get it out of the actual packaging because it's just one of these sorts of things. So you have to, it's like getting that shit out of like a ketchup bottle or something. You have to. I was worried that this toner wouldn't do what I want all my toners to do, which is help exfoliate the skin, as all my acid toners do. But it does, so points for Medicube, points for Medicube. It softens my skin after having cleansed my skin, so that's good. I consider toning as like the last stage of cleansing, so it's a good thing this doesn't like dry my skin out or anything. Overall, it's like a decent toner. It doesn't dry my skin out. It removes like dead skin cells, keeps my skin soft, and yeah, it's a decent toner. I think it's because I'm so used to products these days trying to be really gimmicky or like interesting or unique that I forget that there are products like these that are like very back to basic skincare. So that's why it might seem like I'm very underwhelmed by this, but I really do like this toner. I like it. I just hate the packaging, I guess. Now, if it had been the same consistency but in like a pump sort of dispenser, whole different story. Now, I honestly think the red serum is just like a thinner version of the toner. If you look at the page, it doesn't really claim to do anything different from like the toner. They're almost the same thing. It's just that this is a serum. A serum is just like a really thin, lightweight, watery sort of liquid skincare that is supposed to be like a highly concentrated, you know, thing. It's highly concentrated with all like the nutrients, skincare ingredients that you're looking for in it. So while it is similar to the toner, it's just a more highly concentrated version, I guess. I almost think that it's probably not worth getting unless you have very acne prone skin and you're in the middle of all these breakouts and you really want to bolster or boost the effects of like the rest of the skincare. So yeah, it does keep my skin from getting dry though. It's quite moisturizing. I'm really glad that this line of acne-prone skincare contains this sort of product because a lot of them out there that target people with, you know, breakouts or whatever tend to forget that, you know, other than the fact that we're breaking out, our skin does get damaged in the process of breaking out, especially people like me that have like acne scarring, tissue damage, etc., etc. So I'm really glad that they have something like this to combat that. It contains that special ingredient, Centella asiatica, which my other top favorite skincare item, the Acne Recovery Cream, contains, but this one's at like a 1%. I think the Acne one has a slightly higher one. So that does mean that this is more affordable though, because that one is really expensive. This one is like $20 or so. I think by the size of this though, and what it claims on the website is that it's meant for spot treatments, but bitch, I slathered this shit all over my face. Because I mean, I had acne all over my face, why not? You can definitely put it like on spots, like if you have a breakout and you don't want it to scar, you can put it on top of that, but I just slathered, like right after this serum, I'll slather this all over, like especially concentrating up on the top of my cheekbones and right here on my temples where I have the most scarring. I've noticed that my skin is definitely much smoother. I'm not gonna say like, oh, my deep acne, my pitted acne scarring is gone now, but it's definitely still there, but I notice my scars less, if that makes sense, especially when I put makeup on. I don't know, that's just me. Alright, so the red cream is basically the resident moisturizer of like the entire line, and I have to say, this is probably my favorite product amongst a lot. Now you would assume that this being an acne-prone skincare line, you would just get like a light gel moisturizer because it tends to be the case. Apparently everyone with acne-prone skin also has oily skin and they just hate heavy moisturizers, but not me, bitch. This cream is super rich, but it strikes the right balance between like supreme comforting moisture, keeping the skin soft and supple and plump, and not being like a greasy, oily mess. It's just a really super thick consistency that almost reminds me of like, if you can imagine Vaseline, but without like the greasy oiliness. Does that make sense? Yeah, you just apply it on the skin. If you give it a second to absorb, you pat it in. It just feels like your skin just feels so much more softer. Well, my skin just feels softer, plumper, just really comforted, just not greasy and oily. Because I know there's definitely people out there that are acne prone, but they have dry skin. But it's definitely taking care of the people with oily skin because it's not gonna create the feeling or add to like the existing like oiliness of the skin, and it doesn't trigger any more acne for me, so that's good. I was just worried with the richness of the cream it would probably cause me to break out, but it didn't, so I fucking love this shit. Ugh. I just think that people even with oily skin need a sufficient amount of moisture, because those bitches be walking around like without moisturizing their face, thinking that, oh, my skin is oily, so if I should avoid moisturizing because it'll get oily. No, your skin is overcompensating for the lack of moisture, so it's producing more oil. So that's why I think things like this are really important. Anyway, if you're gonna get anything from the line, get that. Alright, so last but not least is the Red Spot Cream. Now it comes with like patches as well, but I can't find them right now. I lost them. But yeah, if you get like the Red Spot Cream, it comes with some like patches that are similar to like the Cosrx acne pimple master whatever patches. I didn't really use it because I didn't feel like I needed to, because only at that one time where I got that spot on my cheek from the primer I was using. Basically, you just use it whenever you see a spot coming up, you apply it on at night, and then it's supposed to help or even during the daytime. They're supposed to get rid of it basically over a few days and help it go down and prevent it from like erupting. And then the patches are basically the same thing, but you can, it helps protect it. It's literally just like a patch that you put on top of the spot, and it puts that protective barrier on top, but also has ingredients in it to help calm down the inflammation and just keep it from getting worse. The one time that I did use, I definitely felt like the spot, it stopped the spot from growing the next day, because usually it would grow over a period of like 3, 4, 5 days to like a week. But like the day that I saw it, I put that shit on, and the next day was fine. And also, I'm thinking the main ingredient here, I forgot the name of it, but it's like the same ingredient that the Mario Badescu, that pink liquid slash like powder thing, you're supposed to like dip a cotton swab in there and like put on your spot. I think it's like the same ingredients, so there's that. And I know the Mario Badescu one is really popular like on YouTube or whatever, and everyone says that it works. But like, I can already see, I can see all like the little 13-year-olds watching this that are getting acne, and they're like, oh, let me just like buy this one item, slather it all over my face. This is like the same group of people that will slather like toothpaste all over their face in the hopes of getting like perfect skin. Well, if you want to live your life like that, go ahead. You do you. Alright, so that was my review of each individual product. Now we're going to go into like the progress thing. I'm just going to fast forward through all the clips of me using it throughout a period of like 16 or 17 days, like I said. There was like a day or two where I either couldn't film or I forgot to film. But for the most part, I think I got like nearly all the days there. But you can kind of see like, I don't know, you can kind of see a progress of me, like how it works on my skin. Although I have to say my skin, even, it's sensitive of course because I'm like slightly acne prone. Still, I get acne, so technically I have sensitive skin, but I'm more sensitive in the way that if I just touch my face, it like blood just rushes to the surface, so like it turns really red. So you notice as I'm applying the products, my skin looks all really red already, but that's just because I'm touching my face, so that's why. You'll also kind of notice there's a few days where I don't use the toner on like a cotton pad. I'll just pat it on with my hands, but honestly I should just use it with a cotton pad because like I said, I do consider it the last step of cleansing, so I think using a cotton pad will help with that, and I don't think patting it in will do much. I mean, although you can, but that's just me being extra. Overall, what you'll notice is that other than the one spot I got from that makeup, the skincare didn't really break me out at all. But it didn't really do so much in the way of like redness. I think for the most part my skin is over like the acne that I had growing up as a youth. And now my main problem is just like redness because my skin is quite red. In general, I'm fighting against a lot of things. The fact that I have acne scarring, I have moles, like beauty marks, I have freckles that I got from my mom, and I have these acne, did I say acne scarring already? Anyway, I have all that and like blotchiness and uneven red skin, so all those combined, it just makes my skin look worse. Unless like you're really taking a look and like taking apart how my skin looks overall. But that's besides the point. I think this line is great for people with acne prone skin, because I mean it didn't break me out, which is great because for the price that you would be paying for this, like the price point itself is like mid-range to slightly more expensive, so it's not exactly cheap, but for me it did what it's supposed to do. It helps keep my skin clean, sanitary, free of dead skin cells, also keeping moisture, which is so important, because I think a lot of these skincare lines for acne prone skin can be so drying that sure, like I guess you're less oily, but it's just not, I don't feel like over drying your skin is like the way to go when it comes to taking care of acne. I think this line, while preventing acne, it's helped keeping the skin like moist and supple, like I said, especially with like the moisturizer. One thing I noticed though is that you definitely need to use a separate eye cream, which this line doesn't have, because I noticed putting makeup on and stuff, like I didn't notice at first, but over time when I put makeup on, my under eyes would get really creasy and dry looking. So putting on putting on an eye cream definitely helped that. So yeah, I think that's just something to keep in mind, especially if you're quite liney. I think you should start early anyways to put an eye cream on. If I had to recommend only a few of the products and you didn't want to buy like the entire thing, I would definitely the red cream, definitely, and then maybe the Centella Scar treatment for if you're like me and you have like the acne scarring. I think if you get the entire set online, on Style Korean at least, which is where I got it, you can get the whole set for like $110, which I think is a great deal, especially if you're a person that's like struggling with acne, which can get very expensive if you're trying all these different things. But from my experience and from, in my opinion, I think it's worth the price. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you have the money. If you don't, then there's definitely other cheaper alternatives, I guess, that you can look into. So yeah, if you got the money and you need some high quality skincare for acne prone skin, yes bitch. But if you're like me, if you don't mind that Etude House, then you can skip it if you want. Anyway, that was my review. I hope you guys found that useful, helpful, etc, etc. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them for you. If you want to see what I'm up to outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. You can also get ready with me live on Africa TV every weekend, and on Wednesday, which is when I'm more out and about. And then you can watch Beauty Beats for other fun beauty related stuff. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.